man once hailed as the nation's savior got pummeled today as he pleaded the fifth, a grand total of 111 times.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know. As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege. You know that. Your lawyers sitting behind you now shifting nervously in their chairs, they know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people. But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic, you got rich, didn't you? You got rich while people were dying, hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end, and you were getting rich. And not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally, cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic, didn't you? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Greetings from the east to north to south, and this wicked-ass place. The topic, 2020, take the shot. 2026, now you're shot. Give me a break. Let's get into it. I'm your host. I am the one.
Okay, here's what I think. I remember in 2020 when this whole thing started, when it took place, we have never seen anything like this before. So you got a pandemic and the government have an antidote. And they're telling everybody you must take this antidote in order to save your life. Now, as far as I'm concerned, they had the antidote before this whole thing got started. But of course, if you said anything like that, it would be considered misinformation. Now, the biggest misinformation people or persons is the establishment. But of course, if you control the media and you have one specific narrative and no one can repudiate it, or no one can come against it, or no one can give a different sort of information coming from a different perspective, that was banned from media. And it was considered misinformation. So you got this one track or one form of information. So we all had to go with it. Now, Black people, of course, had to be skeptical because of the Tuskegee experiment, which lasted about 40 years. When you do 40 years of an experiment on people and you poison their body and they are dying, and then you get wind of this information, only common sense will tell you, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. So Black people say, I don't want to take this shot. And of course, the president at the time, Joe Biden, he decided to say, this is the disease of the unvaccinated. I can't quite remember how he phrased it, but I heard it a whole lot. Because you didn't take the shot, you are the spreaders of this COVID. So, in other words, they wanted to guilt people into taking this shot. Now, of course, I didn't take it, of course. But the thing is, in my mind, I simply did not trust what they were telling us. To me, it made no sense whatsoever. But of course, many people got fired. Many people have health issues to this very day. And of course, they have to pay for it out of their own pocket. Now, number one, you force people to take this shot. And number two, let's be real, you knew it was unsafe. But of course, the propaganda machine that you have, you push the narrative and you guilt people into taking this shot, or you force them by taking their livelihood. And of course, here's the information 6 years later, and the whole thing was a lie. But I want you to remember, because of the persons and people involved at these big pharmaceutical companies, no one's going to jail. Your whole body is messed up for life. And guess who's going to pay the price? Nobody. Again, the same class of people, the Epstein class, the ones that are above the law, and they have done it to you again. You see, it would have been all right if this was only affecting black people or brown people. But again, the Tuskegee experiment lasted for over 40 years. There's no outcry. Now that same machine turned the tables on you. Let's go to the next clip.
I took 2 doses of Pfizer's mRNA vaccine, unaware at the time that it was, in fact, a prophylactic gene therapy product and unlike any traditional vaccine. I'm a grieving vaccine injured doctor. I've been diagnosed with a persistent autoimmune condition related to loss of bifidobacteria in my guts. An advanced blood test suggested I'm at slightly increased risk of cancer in the short term. In my view, millions of Americans and millions more across the world may be in clear and present danger of suffering premature cardiovascular disease and cancer.
Our next witness is Dr. Aseem Malhotra. Dr. Malhotra is a multi-award-winning, internationally renowned British cardiologist. He served in an advisory role for health policy across governments, including as an ambassador to the Academy of Medical Royal Colleges and trustee of the King's Fund, a health policy think tank. He was ranked the #1 doctor in the world influencing obesity thinking and was named one of the UK's most influential scientists. Dr. Malhotra.
5 months later, a personal tragedy triggered a complete U-turn in my perception of the vaccine. We were dealing with a medical product that was actually unsafe and defective. My fit and healthy 73-year-old father, honorary vice president of the British Medical Association, who also happened to be my best friend and last surviving member of my immediate family, died after suffering an unexpected cardiac arrest. Post-mortem findings revealed severe coronary artery disease, and subsequent published mechanistic evidence suggested that 2 doses of the mRNA COVID vaccine likely caused a massive acceleration in atherosclerosis, leading to his sudden death.
You know, I want you to answer me this question. Why in the world would any doctor or pharmaceutical companies give 2 cents about you and your health? They will never care about people. They concern themselves with profit and profit only. Even when you go to your doctor, they will offer you all types of prescriptions. And you'll be thinking to yourself, do I really need that? That doctor is not concerned about you and your health. The doctor is concerned about profit. Now, they will dispute this. Of course, they will say this is misinformation. But they don't care. Now, here's the thing. Before you put any drug on the market, it should be tested. So when they do tests, they make sure the statistics come out in their favor. In other words, the term they will use is they'll corrupt the books, so to speak. If you're in business, you will write this thing down and you'll write that down. You know good and well, you didn't buy that. But, you cook the books. That's the term I'm looking for. Thing is, this is the same way doctors do, but they don't care about your life. Your life means nothing to them. So let me go to my final clip. And this guy, he talks about the so-called tests and trials that these pharmaceutical companies went through for the COVID vaccine. But you will learn that they could care less. Their bottom line is making money. Your health means nothing to them. Your death means absolutely, positively nothing to them. Let's go to the final clip.
The COVID shots have negative efficacy after 6 months. Tell me how a shot with negative efficacy is saving lives and it has the worst side effect profile of any vaccine in human history. So how exactly is a vaccine with the worst side effects and negative efficacy saving lives? That's a preposterous claim. What ended the COVID pandemic was the Omicron variant that was more transmissible but less lethal. The vaccine, how many people it helped? I think it's an open debate. It could be a net negative.
One thing you will learn if you're a fighter, or if you like any sports, that referee will tell you, protect yourself at all times. So it's a warning. When you go to the doctor, most people put their trust in their doctor. They don't question it. If he tell you you have to have X, Y, Z, you say, okay. He won't lie. So you would do it. We live in the age of the internet now. We have loads and loads of information where we can go and we can research and discover. Protect yourself at all times. Thank you for watching. I am your host. I am the one.